Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we have the ARCA Evolution Series as they take on the Michigan International Speedway for 2 races left before the playoffs kick off. It's getting down to the end of the season, and it should be a fantastic battle. But tonight, we need to give a special shout out to the sponsors who helped make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. And first sponsor we want to give a shout out to is Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. You can go check out their website at www.ornissancentral.com. Next, we have Sheffield Graphics. They're the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes to the Military Foundation's Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure to go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. Also, we have ButtKicker. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from the subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from the ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go to buttkicker.com to feel what you've been missing, and you can use Freaky Fast 20. Yes, that's right, Freaky Fast 20 with 2 E's and Freaky to get 20% off of any purchase there at buttkicker.com. But thank you to the sponsors here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting and the Evolution Racing Leagues. It is always a pleasure to bring them the action here. But tonight, I'm Zach Hulp in the booth, and I have my colleague Brandon Colley up here with me, alongside me to call the action with Robert Moyer Jr. in the production box. Brandon, we got a special night here with 2 races to go in the regular season. Who can build the momentum? How you doing, buddy?
Well, doing pretty good. Should be a pretty interesting race here in Michigan. Haven't got a lot of time in these cars at this particular track. Haven't raced here in quite a while. But from what I can remember, these guys are going to have their hands full. These cars are going to trend to the tight side a little bit. Going to be searching for grip definitely, and seeing where they can carry the momentum. But like you said, playoff time looming near. 2 races to go, and points battle for the lead extended quite a bit last week for David Edwards. Chris Roll, unfortunate last lap there, giving up a lot of points to David Edwards in the closing laps there, down to a 21-point deficit from that race lead. But once the playoffs hit, that all gets kind of reset there, a little bit even footing. And guys, as we get closer, going to be looking at that bubble transfer spot, trying to see how many points they're going to need to eke out to make the playoffs here and try to battle for that championship.
Yeah, and Richard Gonzalez right now, as we see him going down pit road, he is looking very, very strong right now in this practice session as a 38.98 right now, only man in the 38-second bracket. And Brandon, we've seen him. He's shown speed this season. It's just it hasn't had the races to go along with it. Hopefully, maybe tonight he can get the ball rolling and then put himself into those playoffs firmly and have a good shot, maybe at a championship with some momentum kicking in.
Yeah, it's something we've been talking about, I think, each and every week. Richard Gonzalez really picking up the pace throughout the season. His qualifying effort's been really stout the last few weeks. It's just those finishes, not been able to get the finishes that he's really had the pace to potentially get there. Had quite a bit of bad luck, just looking to finally get something going. It looks like he's pretty firmly in the playoffs here, sitting in the 9th position right now. Got a good distance back to that 16th position cutoff point position. So definitely not at risk of falling out here. Just trying to put things together before the playoffs start there and carry that momentum on.
Well, talk about momentum. You got to carry it to this qualifying session because it's going to be all about momentum here at this 2-mile track in the Irish Hills of Michigan as these drivers start to leave pit road for their first qualifying laps in this 5-minute session, looking to bring home that Sheffield Graphics pole. Man, we could see possibly Richard Gonzalez there after practice carry that over, but that could have been a draft lap also. Draft could play a factor with that lap. Let's see what people can do in single car qualifying here. And qualifying up front will be pretty critical, but at the same time, I think we could see somebody come through the field.
Well, I think qualifying up front, especially short races, we've seen when we talk about it every week for the ARCA Evolution Series as well. It's just only 40 laps here in Michigan, so it's not a lot of time. Track position going to be key, and if you can get as good a starting position as possible, it's absolutely going to help your efforts to get a good finish. But it's not going to be that difficult to pass here as it would be, say, somewhere like Auto Club. The nearest thing you can probably compare this track to, you can carry a little bit more speed. There's a little bit more options for grip, and moving around, just trying to find something out here. But at the same time, you can't overdrive too much. These cars a lot more mechanical grip than aerodynamic grip. If you lean on that right front too much, trying to carry too much speed into the corner, it's going to hurt your long run speed, especially off the corners here where you rely on that so much. It's the sweeping front straightaway here especially, as where you're going to make your lap times. If you have to get out of the throttle because you push too tight running up the right front, you're going to be in trouble as the run goes on. Guys are really going to be able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, I think the right front tire is going to be the thing you need to say for sure, Brandon, as the night goes on. But I tell you what, one driver we've seen who had some good momentum and good pace at Pocono that I think could have a good run tonight here is the 16 of Matt Oakbrook. He was fast in practice again here tonight. And Pocono, we've seen that it seems to transition from these Pocono, Indianapolis, Michigan type tracks, these bigger, longer, intermediate style racing tracks. They really seem to do well here for Matt Oakbrook. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see him doing pretty good. And he's also out here in the Reese's car.
Yeah, it was fourth in practice, not too far off of what David Edwards was, his teammate, still in the 39-second bracket there, within a tenth. But we'll have to see what he does for his qualifying lap here. It's the first one coming across. Looks like he's going to be fourth on the board again as well. So we'll see if he can pick up his second lap here. Running maybe a little bit higher, I think, than he did on his first lap. About that top of the second seam there. Going to be able to carry a little bit more speed out, but still fourth. Not bad for qualifying.
See what the second lap time here is for Richard Gonzalez as he does go back to the top of the board for the 6:39.044 for himself. David Edwards now slotting himself into the second position with a 39.201. Here comes Matt Oakbrook in the 16. Let's see what his second lap amounts to. Where does he slot onto the board? Looks like he'll stay. Oh, actually, no, up to second at 39.173 for the 16 of Matt Oakbrook. They're putting him in the second position as we got a few drivers left still to do their second lap, I believe. But at the moment, Richard Gonzalez with the blistering pace here in qualifying, Brandon.
Yeah, really the only driver still slower than his practice time, but seemingly every driver on track now is turning slower laps than they were able to in practice. Track seeming to pick up a little bit of temperature from the start of the practice session here. But Richard Gonzalez still over a tenth quicker than second place Matt Oakbrook currently. And it looks like now we've got Sproul's already turned his lap.
Yep.
Edwards turns his lap, so unless Brennan Perry here now coming to take his second lap can start putting down some burners, I think it may be pretty locked up for the 6 of Richard Gonzalez.
And what a job that would be for him to get that Sheffield Graphics pole here. We're looking now at Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. in the 48 as he looks to take his first lap of qualifying here. See what time he puts down here in the final moments of this qualifying session. And I believe that it's actually starting his lap. I don't even know if he'll be able to put it in there, Brandon, because with about, he crossed the line with less than 40 seconds to go. It's about a 39-second lap. It could be closed for this 48.
Yeah, going to be one and done for the 48 for sure. If that, definitely going to have to get after it here. But looks like he may just be able to squeak across the line to record some type of qualifying lap here. But definitely hoping for a burner, only getting one.
I believe he will run out of time.
No.
Yes, about 3 or 4 seconds short for the 48, but he'll be able to still start from the tail of the field, but unfortunate not getting that qualifying lap in there. But we had Richard Gonzalez bringing home that Sheffield Graphics pole at the top of the board, and here's your qualifying results here from the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. Richard Gonzalez will start from the first position, followed by Matt Oakbrook in that 16. Third is going to go to David Edwards. Fourth is going to be Michael Haru. Fifth is going to go to Jeff Carson. Sixth is going to be Christopher Smerol. Seventh is going to go to Stephen Rasick. Eighth will be Stephen Carey. Ninth is the 55 of Matthew Dude. 10th is going to be Justin Hendry in the 28. 11th will be James Wright. 12th will be the Ford of Harold Rothery. 13th, Brandon Perry. 14th will be Jake Shea. 15th, Justin Malarkey. And rounding out the field will be Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. in the 16th position, as that is your starting grid here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series here at the Michigan International Speedway. Brandon, we got a nice little grid here, but let's go ahead and pull up our pole setter for tonight's race, as I'm sure he's pretty ecstatic, as I'll have to find him there. He is Richard Gonzalez. Bring him on down here to the waiting room and let him have a chat with Brandon Colley.
Hey, Richard, it's Brendan up in the booth. You got a copy?
Brandon, what's going on, sir?
Well, man, congratulations getting the Sheffield Graphics Pole Award here at Michigan. You guys over at Donkey Punch got a Candyland front row or front three going on here. You guys all seem to have a lot of pace, but man, grabbing that pole, we have talked about how much your qualifying efforts have improved, but it just seems like that, race result, that end of the race finish that you've just been on pace for, just hasn't quite been there. How are you feeling about it tonight?
Tell you what, Brandon, I'm feeling really good, but like the last time we spoke, I just it's that cloud over me, man. It just won't go away.
Well, the good news is here in Michigan, it looks like you guys got a lot of cloud cover for everybody. So hopefully some other guys are going to take some of that bad luck that you've been suffering from. But like I said, got a really good starting position here tonight, starting on the pole. How's the grip level out there? Saw a lot of guys in practice turning some quick laps, but you were standing out among all of them there. I believe like 2/10 quicker than everybody else. What exactly are you feeling in the car tonight?
It's got a lot of grip. She holds good, but you got to watch that seam, or it's gonna bite you.
Talk about that seam down in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 right there on the bottom lane. Definitely going to be something to watch out for sure. But let you get down here, man. Get ready to start this thing out and go green, and wish you the best luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Yes, sir. And DPR 123. I kind of hope we can keep it that way.
Yeah, based on y'all's paint schemes, I'm sure Robert would be happy to see that as well, bud.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, hope you guys enjoy the show.
All right, that was your Sheffield Graphics pole setter, Richard Gonzalez, here tonight. As like you said, a DPR 1-2-3 here between the three drivers up front. That's pretty good. I mean, that shows they practice, and they said David Edwards brought it up about these guys going to work and getting into the practice schedule. And I tell you what, it's definitely showing here, Brandon.
It really is putting the teamwork and team information to good use here for these really big 2 mile plus tracks. They always seem to shine here, and it for sure shining right now in Michigan for qualifying.
Pace car is in as we look to take the green flag. There it is, green flag in the air. Richard Gonzalez will lead us to the start finish line as we take lap number 1 here of 40 as they head down to turn 1 side by side between Matt Upbrook and Richard Gonzalez. Actually, Upbrook a nose ahead entering the corner. Now directly side by side through 1 and 2. The 16 is going to look to take the lead here off the exit 2. Yes, he does. Matt Upbrook to the lead. Richard Gonzalez back to second, but it looks like the outside line moving here quickly.
It's not really surprising, carrying all that momentum off the top lane there. Single filed out 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 though. Still side by side here. Christopher Won't making the outside work outside of Jeff Carson right now. Looking to follow Michael Haru around the top side. Now getting around David Edwards. 14 going to be going on by as well. I think for the early part of the run, that high side, that's going to be where you're going to want to be. But as the tires wear in, it's just going to get a little bit too loose up there, I'm thinking. Or excuse me, it's going to get a little bit too tight up there. And you're going to want to move back toward the bottom to try to find the speed. Maybe use that banking, that seam there, the transition in the bank, and help rotate just a little bit.
Yeah, those seams are going to be a vital part, Brandon. I think you brought up a vital part about that. Just using those to help change your car, and we're seeing different lines all around this racetrack, and that's kind of one thing Michigan does. It gives us a lot of different lines to look at. I tell you, one driver trying to make the most of that is Michael Haru. He's trying to get to the outside of David Edwards there, on the outside of that pink number 15 down to turn 1. Yes, he does get to the outside now. As Haru, has 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s versus first this season, looking for some better finishes here before the playoffs kick into a year, as he will not be making the playoffs. He's going to be looking to carry that momentum maybe into the next season.
Oh, no!
Oh, and you can see the ARCA car is just the tires. Oh, and he's on his roof, man. That is a yellow flag. And wow, that is our first one of the night brought to you by Warren Nissan Central. Does he flip back on his tires? Yes, he does. Wow. Well, I give him a 10 out of a 10 for that.
Well, yeah, the good news is not going to have to take the tow, and he's going to be able to go in and get that worked on. And doesn't look like he was on his lid long enough to maybe affect the engine there. So good. Oh, he decides to take the tow anyway, not wanting to get it whipped around there. But it's not too bad of a damage for the 7.
Yeah, here on the Freaky Fast replay, as Lee Tidwell calls it, he calls it the Freaky Fast Carnage replay. That was definitely carnage there. The car just, the right front just grabbed the wall, rode up it. It's a common occurrence with these cars, especially these ARCA cars. And man, he rode the wall until it sent him over on his roof. And then luckily he got back on all fours. But like you said, elected to take the tow. And that brings out the early yellow here. Do not believe we'll see any drivers pitting unless they are topping off for fuel in the back of this pack, because no reason to pit here as you only have one set of tires sitting in that pit road and too early to use that.
If you're in the back, definitely, like you said, you're not going to be taking tires. But if you're feeling maybe a little bit on the tight side, come down here, slap a little bit more fuel in here. We've only gone 4 laps, so they've not burned a ton. But any little bit's going to help the handling, as I believe they've still got, 62% fuel limit. So these cars definitely going to be a lot tighter than you would be used to. Especially getting a lot of experience in the ARCA car. So go ahead and get a little bit in there. You see 3 guys now, Bob Fitzpatrick, Justin Malarkey, as well as the 8 of James Wright coming in now, looking like they're topping off on fuel, trying out, see if they can make that car handle just a little bit better and see if that's going to make all the difference for them.
Yeah, definitely. That could definitely help, Brandon. I think you bring up a valid point there about how it changes the balance. Also, it kind of helps strategy too. It's going to add some laps they can do possibly if they, push the tires to the longest point with that fuel that they can do here. They could have the freshest tires. They catch a late race caution. That's a strategy we've seen be used and able to win races so far. So would not be surprised if they're trying to play the long game here to be able to stretch it long on this next run, but also definitely a balance change there, like you alluded to.
Yeah, it's kind of the two-pronged strategy. The short-term effect, just hoping maybe it'll do something to the balance of the car and feel a little bit better. But long-term, like you said, yeah, you got a couple extra laps, you're going to be able to stay out as opposed to everybody else. And if you're able to stay out and stretch it as far as you can, where other guys have to come in, we talk about all the time that the most dangerous part of the race is during that green flag cycle. If you can get the green flag cycle, the mix of old and new tires on the track together, a lot of cautions happen in those moments. And if you can stay out and catch that caution, cycle out to be the one on the freshest tires, that's a pretty huge advantage when you've only got one set to work with.
Oh, it definitely is. We see tires are king here, especially at a track like Michigan here, man. I mean, there is definitely fall off here at the Michigan International Speedway, because early in the run, those new tires, you can go a lot faster than you could go on old tires. That's for sure, my friend. So they're going to be electing to do that, but it looks like pace car lights are out, so we'll get them back lined up here, double filed up as Upbrook leading the first initial laps of this race as he took the lead from teammate Richard Gonzalez there on the initial start. And then from there, it rode in position as Smerol was able to make up 2 positions, so was Carey there able to make up 3. But some good little racing there around the top 5, top 10.
Yeah, Zach, what I'm noticing so far is that a lot like Auto Club, there's 2 distinct, the Cornish, you look at them and they look identical, but the way that they handle is going to be completely different. And seeing guys already better in 1 and 2, and then other guys seem to be better in 3 and 4. Specifically watching David Edwards, looked like in 1 and 2 he was maybe struggling a little bit, but then he was able to make that inside lane in 3 and 4 work really, really well against the guys that were carrying that momentum on the outside. So that's definitely something we're going to have to watch out for as well.
The beauty of Michigan, able to do multiple things. Let's see which driver out here in the ARCA series can master these cars here at the Michigan International Speedway. As it's a pretty nice day, 86-degree track temp. So like Richard Gonzalez out there said, he said that track has a lot of grip. We got to be careful on the seams as that will upset the balance. And we are about to upset the balance of this race as the pace car will pull its way on down to pit road, as Upbrook will lead us into the restart zone. There it is, green flag in the air. Upbrook with a nice start, same with teammate Richard Gonzalez down low. It's going to be side by side entering into 1, but I believe Gonzalez is going to lift for teammate Upbrook and let him slide into the lead as it's a 1-2-3 for DGR.
Well, now it was team coordination on a restart at its finest right there. Really caught the 14 and Chris Merle sleeping as he's going to get passed by Stephen Carey now for the 4th position. As you saw when they took off, it was pretty even amongst all 3 of them there.
Yeah, look at Stephen Carey up to the 4th position in the 83. And Justin Hendry also, he started near the tail end of the top 10 there in the 10th position. So, man, Hendry coming up through the field as he's looking to possibly cracking through this top 5.
Well, you know, we talk about Richard Gonzalez and his increase in pace as the season's gone on. Can't say enough about Justin Hendry as well. He's been another one of those drivers. When he first started, his pace not the best there. Could not seem to really find the speed, but as the season's gone on, it's just each and every week we find him up here battling right with the top 5 guys for these top 5, top 10 positions. Just a lot of pace out of the 28 here. Looking to continue that at Martinsville, or excuse me, at Michigan. Martinsville on the brain this week, but
yeah, definitely got Martinsville on the brain. I feel you there, but man, those are pretty much polar opposites. If you ever but yeah, Justin Hendry has definitely picked it up too. I tell you, who's picked it up. You said about Richard Gonzalez also alluding to Justin Hendry. Hey man, right as soon as you said that, Brandon, he went right around the outside of Upbrook. That's pushed Upbrook back to the 4th position. Not sure if Upbrook trying to save a little tires. Because I tell you what, this is a track that you can burn your stuff up, and a place where you can kind of ride, save tires, and kind of just draft off the guy in front of you.
Absolutely, because of the banking, you can carry so much speed into the corner and kind of, you know, it's really easy to burn up the tires. Whereas the closest thing you can compare it to would be Auto Club, because it's so much flatter. You've got to be a little bit more patient with your approach to the corner, where here it's just so much confidence, and man, these corners are steep. I can carry a lot of speed and it's cool. There's a lot of grip right now. I can get after it. It looks like Matt Upbrook now maybe taking that calculated approach, just taking a little bit easy here on the short run, playing for the long run and hoping to gain a lot more speed as the run goes on.
We'll have to see. Is already 10 laps here. Next time by, when they cross the start-finish line, will be complete. So it'll be 30 to go. I mean, we always allude to this, right? You alluded to already how important qualifying is here at the ARCA Evolution Series, but it really is important. I mean, we've already kicked off 10 laps and we've had a caution. I mean, if this thing stays green, this race will be quickly over as these drivers out here doing battle. The position is Matthew Good there. He looks like he's in the 9th position there, so he started 9th, looking to hold position, but Jeff Carson there started in 5th. He's kind of slipping back. He usually is a driver that comes to the front as that long run goes on, but he's also, Brandon, this is one thing I've brought up, is he's ran so good in the Cup Series since he's moved up there for the fill-in job. And man, the ARCA Series, he's ran good, but I feel like he's almost ran better in the Cup Series.
And I think it's just the feel of the car for the Cup Series fits him just a little bit better. You know, we talk about that some cars drive similar to others, you know, when talking about these oval stock cars. And more specifically, when we talk about that, it always seems to be the Cup car and the truck. They drive so similar. The ARCA car, it's not a lot of the aerodynamic grip. It's a lot of the mechanical grip. And the closest thing you could have to that is the Xfinity car. But even then, it's still a lot of aerodynamic grip just with the current package. And it just seems like with the aerodynamic grip, there's just a lot of different ways that you drive it compared to what you would this ARCA car, and it seems to fit his driving style a little bit better. By no means is he, you know, off pace or anything in these ARCA cars, but just it's that little something extra that makes all the difference for him in the Cup car.
That's a very good point there, Brandon. It's so different driving style-wise for car to car, and it really can be different for this driver. But I tell you what, new leader out front, that's our points leader. But I tell you what, it may be a battle still for that position as Richard Gonzalez has now crossed over his teammate David Edwards back for the lead as, Richard Gonzalez not giving it up to teammate David Edwards as Stephen Carey is also up to 3rd. This has been some great racing here in this top 5.
David Edwards really sending in. Stephen Carey as well, really sailing it through the corner there. You're not going to be able to do that too many times, but this is the type of track where if you're going to make a pass on somebody, you really just have to do it when you attempt to make the pass. You cannot afford to get strung side by side with a guy for too many laps. You're just going to cost yourself time. Stephen Carey being really aggressive when he decides that he's going to go ahead and try to make those passes.
Yeah, Carey now goes around the outside of Richard Gonzalez. Now Upbrook coming to the outside of Richard Gonzalez. Gonzalez squeezes his teammate Upbrook into the wall accidentally, I believe. And don't know how much Upbrook's going to like that there, as Gonzalez a little bit squeezing his teammate there into the wall, trying to get up into position because you do not want to be stuck on that bottom, it seems. But that's going to let Smur roll up 2 positions. Now that's going to put him into the top 3.
Well, that's definitely not a favorable move amongst teammates there. I'm sure they're going to be discussing that one in the team debrief after the race here. But really, no harm, no foul. They really didn't even lose that much time to the guys ahead of them there, and not really any significant damage either. Just a bit of a ruffling of the feathers there. You see Upbrook maybe considering giving the bump to Gonzalez, but I think he thought better of it considering the cars that they're driving out here today.
Yeah, definitely was thinking about that one there. I believe also is watching their teammate also do that was out front. It's been a good day so far for DPR, but if they get into each other here and make something a mess of it, then it's not going to be a good day. They've been on a roll here the last few weeks, getting their momentum back as they really started off the season as the team to beat. Then it's it slowly slid out of their hands, and now it's kind of coming back to them as the playoffs are moving. So good to see the ebbs and flows from these drivers, but now battle for second. Smur roll to the inside of the 83 of Stephen Carey down here to 3. Looks like he'll make that pass, slide him up to the second position, but Carey says, no, sir, not done yet. But looks like Smur roll will slide in front. Great battle in here at Michigan.
Yeah, able to utilize that transition of banking there on that bottom seam. Just hooking the left front on it to help the car rotate a little bit better and really stay in the throttle to be able to make that pass. Now it looks like Stephen Carey able to carry the run. No pun intended. Now it hangs side by side with him through 1 and 2, but it looks like the high side's going to prevail again. Just the run off the high side so strong.
And I tell you who is a gigantic fan of that is David Edwards. He says, go ahead, guys, race it up behind me. As now Upbrook, he's got past Gonzalez now to put himself up the 4th. He's looking to slide up back into positions. I think Upbrook's going to be one to watch out for, man. He's got a very good looking car now to the inside of Smur roll off of 4. And Smur roll going to block that and cover it off. Racing getting pretty hard here, Brandon. With 23 to go, pit stops can start happening here anytime also.
But it'll look like a little bit of a lift out of the 16 across the stripe there as Chris Sproul moved down to throw that block. Well, we're only at halfway, so you're going to get that little bit of a lift. But as the run goes on and the race comes closer and closer to the end here, you're not going to be lifting for that guy. If he throws the block like that, you're just going to stay into it, and he's going to have to hope his momentum is enough to keep your bumper from getting to his. It looks like now Matt Upbrook looking for the crossover on Smur roll. Going to get the advantage on the high side now. See if Smur roll can maybe sail it off into turn 1 to slide back up in front here. And this is kind of, I think, what we're going to be seeing is just crossover after crossover.
Yeah, this is a great thing for us. But between those two, those could be two. Oh man, Smur roll a little bit up the track, a little bit. That's going to shove Upbrook up the racetrack. He had to make a little bit of a maneuver there, making now Richard Gonzalez 3 wide down the back straightaway. Actually, Upbrook into the wall, now 2 wide between Smur roll and Gonzalez. Can Gonzalez make it work? I think Smur roll's going to cover it off. Yes, he does, as Gonzalez backs out. Looks like Smur roll hangs on to 3rd now, and that battle was holding those two up, and that's let Stephen Carey and David Edwards somewhat pull away.
Well, talking about David Edwards really wanting to see these guys battling. He still wants to see them battle, but he wanted Stephen Carey to be a part of that. The longer they battled side by side, the more chewed up their tires were going to get, and the more time it was going to cost them to himself. But now Stephen Carey, like you said, only about 3/10 behind our leader at the moment. Pit stops are looming. Should be seeing guys in here within the next 5 laps, I would imagine. We'll have to see where that all shakes out. Who decides to be the first one to dip down pit road and try to get that undercut?
I'll tell you what, last time by fastest car on the racetrack was the 28 Justin Hendry. He's 1.9 seconds back from our leader, so within striking distance almost. You can see Richard Gonzalez directly ahead of him with Matt Upbrook and Christopher Smur. He's slowly closing in here. Another 40.71 compared to our leaders, 40.89 out front. I tell you what, Justin Hendry may have saved the tires very well. This is a driver, like you said, you alluded to earlier, getting better and better as the season has gone on. Could this be his breakout race?
It's very possible, and he's setting himself up here with great position at the start of the pit stop sequencing. Really easy. If he makes that undercut, he could potentially leapfrog here, but it's just a matter of how many laps he's got in before the guys ahead of him hit. Too many laps, and they're just going to be able to pass you without much effort. Ideally, just maybe a lap or 2 is what you want to aim for there. But as the first car in, that's the risk you take, trying to do that undercut. But also at the same time, Stephen Carey in second place, running almost identical laps now, right behind David Edwards. A little bit slower last time by, allowing Justin Henry to firmly secure fastest car on the racetrack this time by. But and it's these guys. The long run pace is starting to come out, and the short run pace is starting to hurt a lot of drivers out here right now.
Oh man, yeah, it's starting to really stack up between the 14, the 16, the 6, and the 28. Here comes the 28. Justin Hendry, big run down the front straightaway. Looks like Matt Upbrook going to block that covered off, as Hendry's going to have to lift and hold out there, as side by side between Richard Gonzalez and Matt Upbrook, the 2 teammates from Donkey Punch Racing. Here comes Hendry. He's all over the back of the 16. Doesn't look like it's going to stick as he'll slide up. Now it looks like he might have the run down the back straightaway. Yes, he does, to the outside of Matt Upbrook.
Able to carry the run nicely, and you saw right there having to lift it a little bit. Definitely fast, but you've also got to be smart when you start catching these guys, because even though you're a little bit faster, it's still going to be difficult to pass them. Now it looks like a battle for the lead ahead by side for David Edwards and Stephen Carey. Now it looks like Edwards just a car ahead now. Stephen Carey going to be going to the inside, trying to make that pass work, but the tires are giving up. Going to be harder to make that pass on the inside.
With 17 to go, these guys got to be thinking pit stop pretty soon is in that window. And their side-by-side hard race like that is kind of letting Smirol and Gonzalez kind of get back into the pictures. Now Hendry's got past the 16 of Matt Upbrook. He's kind of stalled out now. He's gotten to that position. A little bit of dirty air possibly putting a factor there for him. But looks like Stephen Carey going to be the first one to hit pit road here.
Well, and the fact that he was directly behind David Edwards, I would imagine we're going to see David Edwards having to come down pit road this time by is to not give up too much time. I think the position you want to be in here is the leader, able to pick the lane to defend from and really play it to your own advantage there. So I imagine we're going to see Edwards coming in. I think, yep, and he's calling over the radio now. He's going to be coming in, as well as the 16 of Matt Upbrook coming in this time by. Maybe Richard Gonzalez, we'll have to see. He has not called it out. Maybe trying to go just a little bit longer to get the freshest tires at the end here.
Looks like they're all coming down this time. Yes, all 4 of the top 4 coming down except for Justin Hendry. He will stay out on the racetrack, but it looks like David Edwards, Richard Gonzalez, Christopher Smirol, and Matt Upbrook, along with Matthew Dude, all hit pit road. I like the call from the 83. I think that was a very good call for Stephen Carey. I mean, he looked very quick there at the end of the run. Now he's going to be able to get out here with the freshest tires and maybe see if he has a gap.
And it very well could be one. I mean, David Edwards not really battling with anybody, able to pretty much keep up the same pace as what Stephen Carey was able to have before he made his pit stop. Now it looks like Justin Hendry going to be coming down pit road as well. Should be seeing Malarkey come down soon. Brandon Perry, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., Jake O'Shea still out on the racetrack. But now Stephen Carey coming down into turn 1. And David Edwards just now in the center of 1 and 2 should be able to make that pass down the backstretch.
Oh, yeah, I think he could be right there on top of him as they're going down the backstretch. I think David Edwards did a very good job. As look at this. He's going to cycle out right in front of the 83, but the cold tires goes up high. Does he try to build the momentum up here possibly? We'll see as they're going to be coming out of 4. Carey almost to the inside. He's got the duck in behind the draft, and the 15 will hold on to the lead as the pit stops almost cycle through, as we still have Justin Malarkey out here with also Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. and I believe Jake O'Shea now hitting pit road, and Brandon Perry just coming off pit road.
Well, Zach, we saw David Edwards able to stay out in front of Stephen Carey during that pit sequence, and looking at the pit stop timing there, the reason for that was David Edwards' pit stop of 14.53 to Stephen Carey's 16.07. A little bit of time on pit road cost you a lot of time on the racetrack there, not able to make that hop for the lead for Stephen Carey, but still right with him now, and he's got a chance to make the pass going down into turn 1 as they're side by side.
Oh man, great race between these two up front. Still Malarkey and Fitzpatrick yet to pit as these two battle for what will be the lead once everything cycles through. 12 to go. This is a critical phase here in this race. And there's our leader, Malarkey, still yet to pit. 7 seconds ahead of Bob Fitzpatrick Sr., who also is yet to pit. These two stretching it on the fuel here with 12 to go still.
Yeah, really just trying to hope that there's, they can catch a caution, get lucky, especially now with these guys, the amount of laps they put on the tires, really going to be an advantage for Malarkey and Fitzpatrick if they can get that caution and come down pit road and get that set on the car. But they're definitely running out of time. You're going to need a good number of laps to cut through the field here, even with fresh tires. But the battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th, definitely heating up. Looks like Jeff Carson maybe taking a little bit too easy. I think he hit already, but falling back to the 9th position now, running 40.5s. Everybody else was running 30.9s as they were catching him. So I think maybe taking a little bit easy for the 81.
Yeah, it looks like he had to hit pit road around lap 17. So he had to hit pit road pretty early there, Brandon, I believe. So, some type of issues there for the 81, I believe, is he had to pit pretty early, and he's going to be on pretty old tires. So that pack there of cars from the 6th position on back for Justin Hendry there, with now Richard Gonzalez going to the inside in the 6th as they battle. Richard Gonzalez now going to slide into the top 5. Looks like here comes teammate Matt Upbrook also, as these new tires are using them to their advantage. Justin Hendry fell back from these guys in the beginning, but closed back in near the end. 10 laps ago, he's going to have to use more of the tires this time.
Well, we saw how close this battle up here for the top 6 and 7 were before that pit sequence. The top 3 now, when they cycle back around, David Edwards, Stephen Carey, and Chris Smerol have really just checked out from the 6th, the 16th, and the 28. They're kind of off in a league of their own right now. These guys back here in the 4th, 5th, the 5th, 6th, and 7th position, really hoping for a caution to close that gap back in.
I'd say Justin Malarkey just comes off pit road in the 73. He had just pit, and he did only fuel. I believe, yeah, he's already getting passed by David Edwards and the rest of these guys. So Malarkey going to try to hang on to something, but I think most likely it's going to look like about a 9th or 10th place position for that 73.
And I think that was just a maneuver that he had lost so much time on the racetrack, couldn't really afford to give up too much more time putting the 4 tires on there, even with the speed that he would have on them. As we've got less than 10 to go now, just not enough time to really put them to good use here. Still sitting in the top 5, but I think he's going to be running out of time to hold on to that top 5 position before these guys behind him finally start to catch him and make those passes.
And Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. hit pit road that time as he led that lap. So next time by, David Edwards will have the lead. But I tell you what, the lead has grown when we cross the line, because look at that. From there on back, that is Michael Haru getting passed as he's a lap down. Look at this, Stephen Carey, Christopher Smerol battling for that 2nd position here as we come to 7 to go. David Edwards looking to be in pretty good position here, Brandon, to pull this off. He's got a nice gap.
Yeah, it really helped extend that gap with Michael Haru off the corner there. Looked like Chris Smerol having to get out of it. Couldn't swing out as wide as he wanted to carry the momentum. And then Stephen Carey as well had to check up to avoid running over Smerol and causing an issue there for them. But a second back now for Smerol and Carey. They're pretty much, without a caution, just going to be battling for 2nd place at this point. I don't think David Edwards, not one to make very many mistakes, and that's kind of what they're going to have to hope for out of the 15 to have a shot at this.
I tell you what, man. Think about this, Brandon. He has led the points for so long throughout this whole entire season because he won the very first race of the season at Daytona. He won Daytona, has not won a race since, but has led the points since then. David Edwards looking to do something very special here and win before the playoffs kick off. That's going to give him some momentum and some confidence going into there.
Yeah, and I mean, he's definitely got to have a lot of confidence already, knowing that he's been the points leader throughout the entire season so far. But in racing, you come out here to win, and the fact that in just the back of your mind, like, yeah, I've got the points lead, but I won the push race, but I just haven't been able to get one since. That's definitely going to be eating at him here. But the pace he's got right now, like you said, to finally get that win after this far into the season, right before the playoffs, that's a lot of momentum. That's something these guys are going to need to worry about, especially, you know, Chris Sproul. We talked about the amount of wins that he's had. He's still a little over 20 points back from the points leader of David Edwards, and that just shows how consistent this guy is, even without his wins. So the fact that he's racking up those wins, you may be waving your championship hopes goodbye.
Yeah, he's really just had consistency, man. You know, less top fives than Smurl, less wins. I mean, Smurl was 6 wins, still 21 points back. I mean, Edwards is he's just been the definition of consistency, and showing it here tonight, and it's going to pay off for him because he is he's driving away from these guys. He's putting into a different gear. David Edwards is performing at the top of his level at the moment. The battle between his teammate Matt Upbrook and Justin Hendry is happening here down into turn 1. It looks like that battle will be for a top 5 position here in the closing 4 laps.
Well, and just ahead of that battle, Richard Gonzalez, not the top 3, but definitely the top 5 that he absolutely has been deserving with his pace here lately. Able to kind of stay away from all the bad luck, and that cloud is lifted as now we got some sunshine out here on Michigan, and I'm sure Richard Gonzalez is going to be happy to see that. But this battle for the top 5 position now, Justin Hendry, his long run pace has been really good, and Matt Upbrook able to hold him off pretty well at this point.
Yeah, at the moment, still pulling away for our leader, David Edwards. And what a way to win your second race. I mean, he talked about it. He's talked to us these past few weeks, getting a few top 3s. You know, he's saying he needs to build momentum up before these playoffs. And this is what everything that he could have wanted here tonight. You know, he could have wanted a 1-2-3 with his teammates, but at the same time, to qualify 1-2-3, then come out here and get a win, and your teammates still all almost finish in the top 5. Actually, at the moment, they are all in the top 5, so it's 1-4-5 for the DPR team. I mean, that's looking very good, 2 to go.
Yeah, and that's really, you can't ask for anything better out of a team. That's, if you can consistently get good finishes amongst all of your teammates, it just shows that all the information you're able to share it's helping everyone find speed, find pace, and just get those good finishes. And they're leading the team points as well. And this is just going to add to that even more toward that team championship at the end of the season.
They have definitely been the top team this season, with about a 16-point lead over JCR Racing and MR73 Racing. So definitely having a heck of a season, but it is the white flag one final time here, brought to you by Sheffield Graphics. David Edwards looking to be the Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight in that number 15 machine. What a drive it's been. No pressure from behind, as Smoreau and Carey had nothing for this man in the final run down to the checkered flag. Now through 3 and 4 for the final time. David Edwards, he's going to be your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. Race win number 2 here at the Michigan International Speedway for David Edwards.
Chris Smoreau going to get second, Stephen Carey third, Richard Gonzalez fourth, and just in the final 2 corners, Justin Hendry going to be able to take that position from Matt Upbrook to finish in 5th place.
What a finishing order we got here. That race was fantastic. David Edwards pulling home his 2nd victory of the season. Congrats to him in the push-up pop. I tell you, he might have to leave that on there now. I mean, that is like, I mean, I would not change my paint scheme if I won, you know, after, you know, winning the first race of the season and going all the way down to this point to win again.
Well, you know, racers are a bit superstitious, and not so much my Cup car paint scheme, but definitely a lot of the other cars that I drive. If things just don't seem to be going right, the first thing I do to make changes is change the paint scheme, see if it changes up the luck just a bit. But like you said, that push pop, it might be staying on there for the rest of the season.
Yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to bring it down here to the front straightaway, celebrate and show how excited he is to bring home the victory here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway. We'll be right back here, everybody, as we take a quick break and get our top 3 drivers into the waiting room and have a chat with them. So we'll be right back, and do not leave us. All right, we are back here, everybody, as we got our top 3 drivers here for their post-race interviews here at the Michigan International Speedway. First up, we got our third place man, Stephen Carey, after another great run here tonight. Let's hear what his thoughts are on just coming up short on a victory here tonight. Hey, Stephen, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Go ahead.
Hey, man. Well, I tell you what, another great run for yourself out there in the 83, man. Out there fighting with David Edwards and Christopher Schmerl there for that race win down to the very end. Let us know how your night went out there.
On racing those guys. I thought right before the pit stop, I maybe had a little something for them, but maybe I pitted a little too early. Maybe I just wasn't aggressive enough on pit lane. But yeah, I thought for sure I might have had it in the bag there. But yeah, for whatever reason, they just find better pace at the end.
Yeah, that's definitely where I was going to go with it because it seemed like, right before that pit stop, your pit stop kicked off, you were right on. You were fighting for the lead with Edwards, and then that one lap extra of you pitting that early. Do you feel like it had that big of effect? Because it just seemed like from there you weren't even able to jump him, and from there it was kind of just smooth selling for Edwards out front, and even kind of pulling away from the field there. I don't know if the track changed a little bit, or do you feel like that tire difference was a huge difference? Because it definitely looked like it.
Yeah, tire difference is definitely it's night and day, especially with how much these tires wear out here. I mean, it's 2 or 3 laps, and it's pretty big fall off, I think. So I don't think I was aggressive enough on pit road getting into my pit box. I think I lost a little bit of time because I should have been able to leapfrog him. I thought if, as long as I was aggressive enough. I was working on it in practice and kept screwing it up. So no wonder why it didn't work in a race.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, it was definitely a valiant effort. It was a great race from up here in the booth. It was very fun to watch you guys battling here all over the racetrack. Before we let you go, though, Steven, and go head off to Texas next week, anybody want to send a shout out to, man?
Yeah, all the RSR guys, 3SW, you guys do a great job broadcasting. We appreciate that. Hopefully, we gave everybody who was watching a good show. Looking forward to wrapping up the regular season and get the next season underway.
All right, Steven, congrats on third here tonight, man. We will catch you next week at Texas, buddy.
Can't wait.
All right, that was Steven Carey, our third place finisher here tonight. Let's go ahead and move on to our second place man, Christopher Schmerl, as he was able to bring home second. Hey, Chris, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
Zach, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, man. It was some great racing out there from you guys, and just a great finish from you tonight, man. It's somewhat of a, I guess you could say, quiet second place for you. You're just kind of lurking there in the top 5 all night, and then coming up with second there in the final run. How did you pull that off, buddy?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. It felt like a very subdued night. I didn't feel like I had the speed clearly. At the end there trying to catch David Edwards. I mean, good luck, man. Anyway, because he's usually fast, but I think specifically here, I just didn't have anything for him. I don't know. We didn't have the speed in the long run. Or the short run. Obviously didn't qualify as well as I would have liked. So I'm just happy to walk away with second, to be honest with you, all things being equal. I'm not sure how it all I'm looking forward to looking back on the broadcast, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure how it all worked out, how I shuffled up into second place ultimately. Because it felt like everything was pretty smooth. We had green flag pit stops, and suddenly I found myself in second, and that's what I was trying to do is, get up to David. But man, I don't know. I just didn't have anything for him. That was all, I was giving it all I got, and yeah, came out second place. I was second fastest tonight, and I guess that's it.
Yeah, definitely. When it's one of those nights, you'll definitely gladly take second, man. David Edwards definitely just found something definitely there tonight at Michigan. He was on fire, and that's really important. It's his first win since Daytona, the season opener. So to go that far a span, leading the points, it just shows how consistent he has been, man. Heading off into Texas next week. We got our last race before the playoffs. How do you feel about Texas, first of all? But how important do you feel like that is to get a good finish to kind of get the momentum rolling that way? Because Edwards tonight with the big win. If another driver goes out there and win, how important do you feel like it is to go out there and win next week, and not let somebody get that momentum rolling?
Well, I mean, you hit the nail on the head right there. You know, you got a guy who's leading the point standings for the season, win with 2 races left. That's a problem for the rest of us. Clearly, uh, we talked last time. Obviously not at Indy because I tried to send it to get the win, which was ultimately a mistake. I you know, in hindsight, you live and you learn. I kind of wish I would have settled in and got the second place finish there, but yeah, you want to peak at the right time, and I'll tell you what, man, David Edwards, one of the most consistent drivers, and then you can't discount all the other guys, Stephen Carey, Jeff Carson, Justin Malarkey, like all the, I'm forgetting some too, obviously. There's fast drivers out there who are just ready to pounce, and the way that we have the playoffs set up now is you just can't rest on your laurels. You got to go out each week and execute and get those good results. You know, things are going to reset for sure, and but there's enough playoff spots where all those guys are going to have an opportunity to get the title. And so there's no rest. There's no we're going to take this week off. You know, I hope good things for Texas, but everybody's gonna. It's at the point now where I think everybody's in agreement. You're gonna have to put the work in order to get this championship, and I think that's a good thing.
Oh, for sure. I think you're exactly right. No mistakes is what's going to take in the playoffs. Consistency and just being there every night and not having those big moments. So gotta be able to get to that point here when the playoffs click, man. I tell you what, it's gonna be fun to watch all you guys go do battle. We cannot wait for that here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Now I got the most important question of the night, and I was made sure to ask this one. How is your Freaky Fast coffee mug?
Man, I'm telling you, coffee never tasted so good. I want everybody to go out there, get yourselves a Freaky Fast coffee mug and other things. I mean, they got other things in the store too, but I'll tell you what, I am a coffee mug collector, and I love my coffee in the mornings. And I showed it off at work the first day I got back from my daddy leave there from the newborn. So it's a conversation starter. And man, thank you guys so much for doing what you do. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a little bit geeky. You got to be willing to talk about iRacing with your coworkers. But luckily, everybody's pretty cool about it at my work. So
That's an awesome story, man.
they were super interested in it.
Heck yes, it's so awesome, man. We appreciate everything you guys bring out there, man, and we appreciate you getting a coffee mug. So everybody out there, yeah, like you said, go grab yourself a coffee mug and get some better tasting coffee from it.
It takes it. I don't know. It just takes it. It takes it from a 10 to 11. I don't know how to explain it, but you got to try it to believe it. Yep.
Well, we will take it here, Freaky Fast Broadcast, my friend. But man, before we let you go, as always, the honors are yours to shout out to anybody who helps make it happen for you, buddy.
I mean, 100%. My family, without a doubt. Say it every time I have the fortunate circumstance to talk to you guys. So, my teammates, MR73 Racing, and yeah, I don't know if you can hear my boys in the background. Jake and Matt, those they do every week, just awesome. In addition to all the drivers, I mean, these guys are tough competitors, and you couldn't ask for more. I mean, just the level of competition, we were talking about it earlier. When you're in a league where you literally cannot make a mistake, that is a fantastic, competitive, respectful league. You just can't find that. It's rare, at least. So I'm super fortunate to be a part of that. And yeah, to you guys for doing what you do. Obviously, I'm super supportive of Freaky Fast Broadcasting, and it's so fun. My boys were once again, we're back into the rhythm of things. They're watching the stream and yelling and all that. So it's just a good family affair, good family fun. So thanks everybody, and just a real. I know I'm going over time here. I'm gonna get the hook. But shout out to Ryan Easel. Ryan Easel. I mean, all the admins do a great job, but I just wanted to make sure he had and I'm not to put anything out there that he doesn't want out there, but obviously he had a scary moment with his family. And, we just wanted to let him know that we're thinking of him. I didn't get the opportunity to say that last week. Just very thankful that everybody's okay, because that's number one most important thing, and that the fact that he's still putting effort and thought into this league is just above and beyond. So thank you for that. So everybody have a safe week, and we'll hopefully see you at Texas.
Awesome stuff, Chris, man. Hey, we appreciate it, buddy, and we will catch you next week in Texas.
Awesome. See you then.
All right, guys, that was Chris Moreau, your second place finisher here tonight. But man, what an interview this is about to be. Let me tell you, this guy's about to be very excited. And the push pop candy race car number 15. Man, that thing looks good. I ain't gonna lie. So let's go ahead and bring David Edwards out here, your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight from the ARCA Evolution Series. Hey, David, it's Zach up in the booth, man. You got a copy?
10-4, I got you, Zach.
Man, what a win here tonight, David. I tell you what, buddy, it's got to feel great to come out here and get the second win of the season after winning the season opener at Daytona. Man, I can't allude to you how impressive this is. You led the points all through the season with just being super consistent. And now to come out here with 2 races left before the playoffs kick off and get the win, how does that feel, man?
It's nice to finally be on the top step this time. I mean, it's, running consistent all year, but just been, 1-2 spots short sometimes and sometimes a few more. But it's nice to hopefully we can build on this and get it rolling for the playoffs.
Yeah, that's definitely where we're headed, man. I tell you what, next week at Texas, how important do you feel like is it to go there and carry this? Because, man, I tell you what, the last few weeks, it's just been shown even with your team. I mean, all you guys, Pocono, Indy, now Michigan, it's really clicked for you guys, and the momentum is starting to swing forward for y'all. How important do you feel like Texas is to keep carrying that on?
Very important. I want to keep their goal. I don't want to let up. If we crack the throttle even just a little bit, there goes everything we've gained. Donkey Punch Motorsports and Slide Jobs Racing, the Big Brother team, all been working together here week in, week out. Just pull it in the same direction. Just keep it going, and want to go to Texas and have another good outing so we can just keep rolling right into the playoffs.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, it's been impressive to watch you guys the last few weeks, and it was great to see you come out here. Great looking car. Robert loves it. Gotta say that. He loves all the candy cars you guys bring out there to the racetrack. So he's always appreciative of that, man. I tell you what, that thing looked fast out there tonight, too. So might have to keep the push pop car there for us sometime, because, man, that thing was really, really fast. Tonight it was a hard battle. You were dominant, it seemed there at the very end, but you had to really fight to get there. I mean, you didn't start on the pole, you worked your way up and through the field, and then had Stephen Carrier really, nipping at your heels there before the pit stop. So, I mean, it had to be pretty stressful out there.
Oh yeah, I was tired of just seeing my entire mirror be white every lap in and lap out. Yeah, Stephen was on me there just the entire back half of that first run, and hell, he was there at the beginning of the second run after the pit stops. But yeah, I mean, just try to stay consistent. I've got to thank my teammate Richard. Gave us a little inside information because I know he turned a blistering lap in qualifying. I mean, he just dusted everybody. So I got a little shared data there during the race of where he was running. So that definitely helped fend off Chris and Steven there at the end.
Well, I tell you what, man, your teamwork's been very impressive with your team. So definitely keep that up as the next few weeks roll, man, because we're getting the playoffs kicking off here in less than 1 week coming up. So, man, I can't wait for that. I can tell you that. But before we let you go, David, to celebrate for the victory tonight, man, who you want to send a shout to?
First and foremost, my wife for letting me do this on Tuesdays. Donkey Punch Racing, myself, Matt and Richard putting in the time. Slide Jobs Racing, Travis, GT, Curtis, Michael, just putting in the time to help us out when they could be running their own stuff. They put in the time to help the ARCA series out and make us better. You guys for putting this on each and every week so we can watch it. Most importantly, Ryan was back in the tower tonight. So it was good to hear his voice and, with everything he's going through right now. So keep him in your prayers and everything. And just look forward to going on to Texas next week and try to keep this thing rolling.
Well, David, I tell you what, congrats tonight, man. You are the Sheffield Graphics race winner. And what a way it is here right before the playoffs kick off, buddy. So you have a great night. Go celebrate this thing, and we'll catch you next week in Texas.
10-4. See you guys there.
All right, buddy. You have a good night. That was David Edwards, everybody, your Sheffield Graphics race winner here tonight for the Michigan International Speedway. What a race it was for him to pull off this victory. Very important. Like I said, 1 race left next week before the playoffs kick off. We head to Texas, so don't miss that here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But let's go ahead and pull up our official race results here tonight. David Edwards is going to bring home that race victory After winning the season opener at Daytona all the way here now to Michigan, he's race winner again. Second's going to go to Christopher Smerol. Third's going to be Stephen Carey. Fourth's going to be Richard Gonzalez. Fifth's going to go to Justin Hendry after the last lap pass on the sixth place man of last week's winner, Matt Upbrook. Seventh's going to go to Justin Malarkey. Eighth will be Steven Racing. Ninth's going to be Jeff Carson. Rounding out your top 10 will be Jake Ashake. 11th's going to be Brandon Perry. 12th's going to be Matthew Dude. 13th, Bob Fitzpatrick Sr. 14th's going to be James Wright. 15th is going to be Harold Rothery, and then 16th is going to be Michael Haru, rounding out your field here tonight for the ARCA Evolution Series. And what a race it was here from the Michigan International Speedway. Brandon, we've seen all types of action, but David Edwards is definitely got to be the main topic of discussion, because winning tonight here is definitely got to send a shot over the bow for the rest of these drivers.
I said, and then Christopher Smerol echoed, these guys got to be worried. Turning on the heat this late into the season, really hitting your stride right as the playoffs are starting. Couldn't ask for a better time to do it. And David Edwards finally getting that second win of the season here. 1 week to go now until the playoffs start, and it looks like going to be able to take that points lead all the way into the playoffs here as the regular season champ. And I'm excited to get to Texas and see how these guys can navigate that fun track. With banking differences in 1 and 2 compared to 3 and 4 really opens up the racing, and some guys that may not necessarily shine be able to figure a little something to get some speed and show up at the front. Definitely looking forward to seeing that.
Yes, I am too. Texas should be one heck of a race. Also, don't miss that here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting, live at 7:20 Eastern next Tuesday. But also don't miss live at 9:20 Eastern here, not too long. We will be live again with the RSR Cup Series as they take on the Michigan International Speedway here, as that's the Cup Series, as this is the feeder series to that Cup Series. So don't miss that live here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting here in less than an hour. And we would love to have all you tune in. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight. Let's send it up to Robert Moyer Jr., our producer, as he'll close out tonight's ARCA Series broadcast.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Great race. Way to go, David. Way to put that candy machine in victory lane. Long-awaited victory for him. But thank you, everybody out there, for tuning in here tonight with the ARCA Evolution Racing. And make sure you tune in at 9:20, like Zach said, as we'll bring out the Cup cars here at Michigan Manufacturing Battling. And we'll have a little discussion about that here at Michigan, as this is the home of Chevy, Ford, and Toyota. So it's going to be fun to see who puts it in victory. Can a Ford do it, or will a Chevy do it tonight? But make sure you tune in at 9:20 and watch it and find out to see who becomes that winner here tonight at Michigan. But until then, take care, and we're going to say God bless everybody. We love you all. Peace out.
See y'all soon.
Bye, everybody, and go forward.